This is the slasher movie Iceberg. It's a 7-tier list of films starting with the most common and least disturbing, but the further down we go, the more obscure and disturbing it gets. Starting at the top of the iceberg with the big three: Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. These are the most commonly known slashers. Everybody knows Freddy, Jason, and Michael. You know, pretty standard when it comes to slashers, and it didn't really push the envelope enough to be considered disturbing. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, another pretty commonly known slasher, but when it comes to the disturbing department, Texas Chainsaw definitely pushed the envelope way more than the big three ever did. Very low budget with somewhat of a snuff film aesthetic, but it ain't nothing compared to what's on the bottom of this list. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. The Town That Dreaded Sundown came out in 1976, 2 years before Halloween. Not nearly as known as any other movie on this list. Now, what adds to the disturbing factor of this movie is that it has a real life connection, as this is one of the only horror movies that says based on a true story that's actually based on a true story. And just like in the true story, the killer was never identified or apprehended. The movie also had controversies as some of the real life family members from the true story actually sued this movie. Maniac. Maniac came out in 1980 and is widely considered to be one of the most disturbing slasher movies of all time. The killer's name is Frank Zito, a very disturbed man with some serious mommy issues. His main targets are women, but not only does he unalive them, he also scalps them and puts their scalps on mannequins, and he collects them all. This movie was filmed guerrilla style, meaning they had no permits for this movie at all, and because this movie was so low budget and graphic, it looked a little too real for most people. This movie was met with a lot of controversy, news coverage, and it was banned in some places. Henry: Portrait of a Serial Killer. Henry: Portrait of a Serial Killer came out in 1986, and it offered a brand new way to make and look at slasher movies, as the movie didn't put its main focus on the kills, but more so the psychology of the killer himself. And the tagline, "He's not Freddy, he's not Jason, he's real," offered a more realistic approach to the slasher genre. Because just like Frank Zito from Maniac, Henry was not a mass killer, he was just a regular guy, which make movies like Henry and Maniac far more disturbing than your average slasher movie. August Underground. August Underground came out in 2001, and it acts kind of like a found footage movie, directed by Fred Vogel, who also stars in the movie as the character Peter. Peter is our main killer, and he has his friend follow him around with a video camera as he kidnaps, tortures, and unalives various people. The movie was so bad that the director was actually arrested in Canada. He was charged with transporting obscene materials and was held in custody for 10 hours. And lastly, Murder Set Pieces. Murder Set Pieces came out in 2004, and it follows a charming yet sadistic photographer. And throughout the whole movie, he just kidnaps, tortures, and unalives S-workers. The 2000s was a lawless decade, but this movie still pushed the envelope just a little too far. The movie was banned in the UK, and for the DVD release, 22 minutes were cut just so it could reach rated R status. And I'm gonna just let you know right now, this is probably the safest image that I could find to use for this video. Alright y'all, that concludes the slasher movie Iceberg. If you haven't seen my other Iceberg videos, just click this playlist below. And if you want more icebergs, just hit me up in the comments and let me know.